This is just to very briefly show you how to you could create your film of your presentation if you're using PowerPoint. So let's say I've created this PowerPoint presentation. I've created some notes that I'm going to use to read through when I'm giving the presentation. And then if I just go up to slideshow here on the menu and say record slideshow, then I am now recording my slideshow. And as I move from one slide to the other, it will remember the timings of how long I was on this slide. And I've got my presenter notes over there underneath the next slide thing there. And if I go to the last slide, you can see that it tells me when the end of the slideshow is. And then finally, when I finished presenting and come out of the other side, so I just pressed the arrow to take me to the next presentation, but I could have gone up to the end show thing. In any case, it will say the total time for your slideshow was blah, blah, blah. So it'll tell you whether you've got your 20 minutes or not. And do you want to save the new slide timings? If you say yes, then it will also save the vocal recording. Okay, all right. And so it's now created that. And if I go to export here in the file menu, I can now export that, and I can choose an MP4 movie, and I can choose what quality I want to use. I'm going to just use presentation quality and use the recorded timings and narrations here, and I'm going to export that to an MP4 file. And now that is doing that. You can see down here PowerPoint is converting, creating the video, referencing presentation.mp4 down here. And once that's done, I will have a movie in the folder that I've just saved it to. So I think that was in my downloads folder. So let me go to downloads, and there you go. My movie is now there. And so there you go. That was me recording a slideshow. And I can do exactly the same thing with Keynote here. In the play section, we've got record slideshow. This works slightly differently. I'm going to start at the right slide. So record slideshow, and here you have a record button. You can start and stop. I tend to try and get all the way through. You can also, if you're playing some audio in your thing, you can switch the microphone off so that you don't cough over it or whatever down there. But so Keynote's just a little bit more kind of sophisticated than the PowerPoint version, but it's almost the same. And it's the same thing. You've got presenter notes down here at the bottom. You can see the next shot slide that's coming up, and you can see the actual time of day it is and the amount of time that you've been recording for. So you can check that you're in your 20-minute slot. Okay, so basically if I just hit start recording, gives me a little count in, and now I'm recording, and you can see the microphone zooming around here. If I jump to the next slide, I'm now on some obvious and sensible rules, and these would be things that I would be talking about, and I go through that, and then we've got the next slide, which should take us, sorry I didn't realize quite how many of these I had, take us to the end of the show, at which point we finish. Okay, and then when I come out of that, I do exactly the same thing again by saying export to movie, and it tells me what I'm doing. I'm exporting the slideshow recording. It allows me to choose resolution. I'm going to just choose this video resolution because it's only slides. It doesn't need high quality video for pictures, but if you've got video in your presentation or whatever, you might want to use a higher quality context. And then I just select somewhere to save it and hit on export. I'm not going to do it now because it'll take a couple of minutes and use up some of my desktop, but that's exactly the same system. Okay, so that